Hello there, Couch Coop here, reviewing a single player game, thanks for that. This is Blasphemous that we're looking at now, and it was a game that was awesome. Came out in 2019, always thought it was a little bit older than that. I want you to look at the graphics, I want you to look at these beautiful parallax scrolls and these amazing hand-drawn enemies, the animations on him. It is kind of a very difficult side-scrolling hack and slash. In the vein of Dark Souls, even with restart points, losing everything, going back to retrieve what you've lost, but it made a massive name for itself because it's beautifully drawn bosses that are mammoth, and it's got this strange pseudo-religious angle, making it very dark and mysterious. Moonscars has just come onto Game Pass, under a gigabyte, and I was drawn to the art immediately. Not the thumbnail art on the actual game itself. Can you get that fixed, guys? But as soon as you look at video footage of it, the way that character's animated, the reflections in the water, you know what I'm talking about here. This has got Death Gambit's vibes also, and it's got some really cool moves and some small nuances that kind of keep you guessing and want you to keep playing. I'm very impressed with this. Let's talk about its controls pretty quickly, because you have got a timed parry and the window is quite strict, so taking the piss with it is not a thing. And you've got hard and quick slashes, and you've got a strange double trigger special, and you've also got to give yourself health manually using an element that you would get from attack. So you've got this bloodborne element of be aggressive, get some energy back, at the same time you're likely to die. Dying's handled with you returning to a statue that you then retrieve and get all of your element or currency. Top right hand side, you get souls for killing enemies, but you also get very strange macabre valves and things that you pump into developing yourself. Now it does this thing like a roguelike would do by giving you incremental choices of 3 on upgrade. It will be a health build, or maybe you'll buff your critical attack, but you keep getting to make these decisions to sort of tailor your character in. But it is a campaign structure, and one of those Metro-esque maps that you have where you can see where you've been, unexplored areas, you just click a button to bring it up, and all the symbols are like instantly recognizable. This is straight in the vein of all the cool popular indie games that we're getting to see at the moment. Here comes some of the weirdest stuff. When you reach a checkpoint, it's a mirror. Sometimes it's got a cat with it, and you go back to the central hub via this mirror. On returning to the level, you bump into your evil doppelganger, which will be between you and progression. Every time you do it, you have to fight this crazy woman, and that will open up an amazing special that you might put on triangle, which is kind of a one-stop move and can look phenomenal. On the game description, it's called a nonlinear 2D world, which points towards Metroidvania, but away from procedural generation. So unlike Dead Cells, you won't get tiling systems randomizing the layout of the level. You know what you're getting, which is pretty cool, because you have to do quite a lot of almost speed running past a lot of areas, because you know where you've got all the loot. You don't need to waste your time with the enemies. But at the same time, you need to build up that meter to give yourself some health back. The parry is becoming more and more important for me. Down on the bottom left, you'll see that there's 2 meters. The white one that's building up is what I pump into my health to get it back. When it gets to the top, I get to use one of my specials, which are slotted in, and that goes for a lot of perk runes as well. There's loads of open slots in your infantry to start mucking around with build. Back to my point, if you parry something perfectly, it can fill up that meter instantly. And some bosses require you to do that as a standard mechanic. You might be noticing this brilliant colour palette. I love these deep greys and darks and charcoals set on this crimson. Gives the gore that more stand out, with the background being that drab and macabre. It's awesome. The ruins, I'm in the fortress, and some of the early areas have just gone down underground to a slightly more organic looking place, but the enemies switch out, and the differences in flyers, mini bosses, mid-level bosses, strange like one-off guards that will just be applicable to that particular level. Is it better than Blasphemous? Well, here's my take on it. Blasphemous has got quite a huge concept, and it's also got a slightly more vibrancy on enemy because of its crazy theme, but it's too hard. I find the game a bit of an ordeal, although I love it. This has got all these cool tropey indie game rewards and roguelikey systems in it that make you feel like you're getting somewhere and you're almost playing a sort of arcade game that's got this beautiful multi-layered depth with all of the unlocks and perks, buffs, runes, different different specials, amazing enemies. So there's a lot to like here. You might be like me and you probably want a bit more reward when it comes to your side-scrolling hack and slash. Moonscars where to find it. I've been Couch Glue, and of course, I'll see you down there.